back once again. I must, first things first, apologize for not streaming last night. I had some things to deal with, as some of you may know. I'm at my mom's, so I've had to catch up on things. So, as you can tell from the title, today we are going to be discussing E3 2019, and I'm going to be doing a Red Dead Redemption 2 review. I'm about 50% of the way through it, so I just figured, why not? I want to talk about E3 2019 because Sony aren't appearing, and it's the first time Sony aren't appearing for 24 years. So that's a very long time. So as we begin, as always, shout out to all subscribers, old and new, appreciate the love and support. Without you, I wouldn't be where I am today. The virus, hey, what's up? Thanks for stopping in, appreciate it. So as you can tell from the title, guys, it's just a quick Q&A discussion, really, about E3 2019 in general. And later on in the video, I will go into detail on Red Dead Redemption 2 and what I think about the game. Sorry for my dog in the picture as well. She just won't leave me alone. She's one of those clingy animals. Anyway, so my thoughts on E3 2019 this year with Sony not appearing for the first time in so long. I feel like it's going to be a bad year for games next year. I mean, because we've already had all the big titles announced. We've already had Days Gone announced. We've got The Last of Us 2, things like that. So I'm not too sure what else can come out of E3 next year. I'm not sure what bigger games can be announced. YFMK123, what's up? Thanks for stopping in, appreciate it. My dog wants to be a part of the stream. No, my dog just never wants to leave me alone. When she's at my place, when I'm here, she just never wants to leave me alone. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing a coat inside, it's because it's absolutely freezing at my mom's. Like, literally, it is freezing. I've got the heating on full as well, and it is just freezing. Just, ugh. Sleeping's been rough, I tell you. But anyway, on to the discussion. E3 2018 wasn't a big disappointment. We got what we expected. You know, we got some Spider-Man trailers. We were told that Spider-Man was definitely coming out this year, and it did. We're all happy that it did. I'm happy that it did. I don't know about anybody else. We got the bombshell that Days Gone had been delayed yet again to next year. We now have confirmation. Well, I wouldn't say confirmation because knowing how Days Gone's been going for the past few years, it'll be postponed again. But the confirmation on that is that it's coming out after The Last of Us now, because Sony didn't want to drop two big major titles on top of each other, two sort of zombie titles on top of each other. So I do believe it made sense for them to postpone Days Gone again, because if it was to drop the same month as The Last of Us 2, people might have been contradictory as to what they should buy and what they should play. But yeah, it does suck that they postponed it again. So The Last of Us 2, of course, we are super duper psyched about it. We won't get another trailer for E3 next year, of course, because it's already going to be out. And I'm thinking that Sony has pulled out of E3 next year because they've got no big games to drop. The Last of Us 2 was to be their crowning jewel of the year. So that's why I believe they've dropped out and decided not to attend this year. Although it would have been nice for them to attend and just announce maybe some new tech, some new upgrades for the PlayStation, like maybe talk through this whole, I don't know, changing your PSN ID thing. That would have been cool if they went into detail on that and as to why they've done it after all these years. But I really do think that we're going to be disappointed with E3 in 2019 and the turnout of E3 2019. As obviously, I'm not an Xbox player, but obviously Microsoft will be there, Xbox will be there. I'm assuming there'll be some really big titles dropped for Xbox, because PlayStation's crowning jewels, of course, are The Last of Us 2 and Days Gone. And with them coming out with, basically, they can't come to another E3 and say, oh no, we postponed it again, because they're coming out. They are definitely coming out. The developers have said, no, that's it, they're coming out. So what is going to come of it? because Sony has been the leading jewel of E3 for 2 decades now. It's just been what we've expected to see at E3. We've expected to see the big Sony logo. We've expected to see Sony Interactive Entertainment. With most of us, most PlayStation fans like myself, we've watched the entire E3 live stream just to wait for PlayStation right at the end, usually, just for the sake of hearing what they've got to offer. Even if there's no games, we just like to hear tech. For example, a couple of years back when they announced the PS Vita, I was super stoked for that. You know, they didn't have any games to announce, but they announced a new console, which was really cool. But that being said, because Sony have released so much this year as well, we've got the PlayStation Classic, the original sort of PlayStation 1 Classic, which really doesn't feel like the original PlayStation. I still have the original PlayStation. It's just a big brick. It's sat in my attic somewhere. But the new one, it's a bit smaller. It doesn't feel as retro as the originals because all the games for it are digital download. Would have been really cool if they re-released it and let you play your original PS1 games on it, because I found out that you can't. Because there is a laser in it, but it's a fake laser. It just adds to that nostalgia of the console. You know, the lid opens as well. The reset button works, but the power on and power off button, it's the one at the front of the console is just for show. There's another power on and power off button at the back of the console, like there is with the PS3 and PS4. So let me know what you guys think. What would you say is going to be the biggest turnout at E3 this year without Sony appearing? I really do believe that this will allow Microsoft to take the crown jewel this year. It will allow Microsoft to announce something huge without being in Sony's shadow. Because as I've said, I'm a huge PlayStation fan. But as a PlayStation fan, I believe that Microsoft has been in Sony's shadow at E3 for so many years now. PlayStation, in my opinion, have the better exclusives. So Last of Us, for example, that's just one example. And then you've got Microsoft who say, oh no, we've got Halo. But Halo is just now a giant battle royale, which is a carbon copy of Call of Duty online, basically. So I don't see the big deal on that. But yeah, I've always looked forward to E3. I've watched it for years now. But I think this year might be one of the years I actually give it a miss. Because as I've said again, I always look forward to the Sony aspect of E3. And there's not really much I can take from it because being a PlayStation owner and a PlayStation user, I don't have anything else to play. So if there's no new games announced from Sony, other than what we know, so Days Gone and Last of Us 2, what have we to do? What have us PlayStation fans got to tune into E3 for? Because there's no new announcements on that part. I think 2018 was Sony's big year, but I think they did too much in 2018. They should have saved some of it for next year. So as I've discussed earlier, the PlayStation Classic that they've re-released, I believe they should have saved that until next year. At least then they could have gone to E3 and says, well, look, we don't have much this year. We're going to admit we don't have much this year, but we've got this. We've got classic retro PlayStation for you. At least then we would have had something from them. I think Rockstar does anything, but will produce pretty decent turnout. That's true, actually. Yeah, Rockstar games are going to be at E3, so maybe we'll get some news on Grand Theft Auto 6 or Bully 2. So for those who don't know Bully, it was Canis Edit. Maybe we'll get some news on that long anticipated and long awaited Agent game that they've been putting off for about 10 years now. I don't know if it's that long, but yeah, I know they've been putting it off for a while. Dan the Man, what's up? Thanks for stopping in, appreciate it. How many HD classics they make? That's a point, actually, because this is just me personally. I would love to see classic remasters of the original Rayman series I loved the Rayman games as a kid. I loved Rayman. I mean, we've already got Crash Bandicoot. We've already just got Spyro. So what else are they going to remaster from the classic days of PlayStation? Maybe. Oh no, actually, yes, we're getting the original Resident Evil remastered as well, so that's coming. Not sure when, but I know that's coming. The next Ratchet and Clank game, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if Insomniac have anything planned for Ratchet and Clank at the minute, because the movie did well. The movie did really well, actually, but the game didn't do too well. The game flopped on sales, which is why it appeared on PS Plus a few months ago. They only usually put games on PS Plus that don't sell very well. So anyway, back to my discussion. Yeah, Rockstar Games will be there, of course. We'll probably have Insomniac back. Maybe Take-Two Interactive will appear. Take-Two Interactive are the ones that deal with all the copyright issues and whatnot for Rockstar Games and Red Dead Redemption, things like that, etc., etc. So if Rockstar Games do appear, maybe we will hear something on the next GTA game, or just another one of their games in the future, or a possible DLC to Red Dead Redemption 2, which again I will go into detail on later in the video, because of course I'm wanting to do a Red Dead Redemption review. I do feel that we've got all we can get for this year, and next year there's not much that any company can produce, because Rockstar has given their crowning jewel this year. They've given us Red Dead. Insomniac gave us their crowning jewel this year. That was Spider-Man. Sony are giving us their crowning jewel for sort of this year, next year, which is The Last of Us 2, because every PlayStation fan is about The Last of Us. Ever since the first one dropped in 2015, I believe it was, back on the PS3, everybody was clamoring for a sequel. And it's taken them this long to release it because it keeps getting postponed and postponed and postponed, and then suddenly we're like, oh yeah, it's definitely coming out. No postponements, it's definitely coming out. Which is probably why Sony have pulled out of E3, because they just don't have anything new to give us. As I've said earlier, it's just how it is, really. But yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, what you think. Who do you think will appear at E3? Who do you think won't appear at E3? Who do you think's going to pull out of E3? Because with Sony pulling out, this lets Microsoft sneak in and give anything that they haven't been able to give over the past 2 decades of E3. Yeah, I would really like to hear your thoughts on that, whether you're watching the stream now or watching it later on. Medieval's getting a remake. Yeah, that is actually. The original Medieval was pretty awesome, to be fair. I mean, I had it on the PS1. I loved it. It was hilarious. Just playing around as this like skeleton-looking medieval warrior type thing, hence the name of the game, Medieval, really. But yeah, I found it quite awesome. Timmy33 Rebirth, thanks for stopping in, appreciate it. Not sure if I gave you a shout out earlier, but yeah, thanks for stopping in, appreciate it. Sort of pick me up, Steve, in the background. Yeah, that's the thing, because since I agree with you there, actually. Since Nintendo Switch, Nintendo haven't really announced anything new. I mean, there's an advert for it playing on the TV in the background, actually, so that's convenient. But I'm not really sure what E3 can give us next year. I mean, maybe there'll be some new consoles announced. Maybe Microsoft will talk about any new upgrades for the Xbox, or just possibly a new console in general. Maybe Sony pulled out for that exact reason, because Microsoft are ready to announce their next console, but Sony aren't. Or maybe we're going to get it at the gaming conference in December of next year for Sony. It's just all speculation at the moment. We've no idea what to think of it. We've no idea how to think of it. But yeah, it's just disappointing that Sony have pulled out. Yeah, Dan, I believe Naughty Dog will definitely show up because I think they're wanting to talk about a new Uncharted game, following on from the Lost Legacy. Speaking of guys as well, I will be doing an Uncharted stream tonight, another Uncharted 3 stream, so stay tuned for that. I'll also be doing a Red Dead Online stream because Red Dead Online has dropped for me now. It's 30th of November. I'm just waiting for the update to install. Hopefully, hopefully it doesn't crash like it has been for a lot of other people. But yeah, we'll just wait and see. If it doesn't work, I'll just do a story, Red Dead story sort of walkthrough thing. Oh, dog's getting annoying. Sorry, guys. But as I said, for the last 2 decades, all we can think about at E3 is Sony. I mean, that's just me personally. All I can think about is Sony for the last couple of decades at E3. And the fact that they've pulled out just says to me that they have nothing to give us. And that them saying, well, look, instead of us just showing up and appearing on stage talking about random crap that is already coming, we're just going to pull out for the sake of pulling out. Oh, you don't have a PS4 right now? Damn, that sucks. So how are you gaming? What system are you using right now? Sorry, I'm doing this on my phone, so every time someone comments, it disappears, and I've got to pull up the chat again. Would I like to see a Venom game? Probably not, Dan, because I'm guessing in the sequel to the Spider-Man game that Insomniac dropped, that Venom will be a huge part of it. Maybe we'll be transitioning between 3 characters in the next game, so we'll probably transition between Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Venom. Much like they did in the PS2 Ultimate Spider-Man game, where you transition between Venom and Spider-Man. That was really cool. I loved how they did that. You can't get any better than that, to be honest, with the transitioning between characters, which Insomniac did kind of do in the new Spider-Man game. They sort of transitioned it with Mary Jane, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man, which was really cool. I'm glad it just wasn't a Spider-Man swing around, beat these guys up, swing around, beat these guys up sort of thing. It was stealth aspect as well with Mary Jane and Miles, and they have no powers, so that was really cool as well. But yeah, this is only a short stream, so I'm just going to move straight onto my Red Dead Redemption 2 review now. I think I've covered all I can really for E3 2019, because it's all just rumor and speculation at the minute. All I really wanted to cover was Sony pulling out. As a PlayStation user, of course, that's just all I wanted to cover. So Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm about 50% of the way through the story now. I'm on to the 3rd camp, when you go to that temporary house, that temporary lodging. So far, I'm finding it kind of addictive, I'm finding myself, when I go to work, I'm finding myself wanting to go home early so I can come home and play it. It's a bit crazy how addictive the game actually is. But overall, if I had to give it a rating out of 10, I would say 7.5. Simply because I've found numerous glitches, like in a cutscene. Sometimes your gun can be like waving from your hand like that. When you holstered it before the mission, your gun will still be waving in your hand like that. It's just all over the place. You get wanted for absolutely everything. Main story mission, wanted, bounty, got to pay that off. You bump into someone in town, you get wanted, and you get a bounty. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's completely different to the first game, whereas in the first game, if you bumped into someone, yeah, you got wanted, but you didn't get a bounty for it. You say, for example, if you run over an animal whilst you're on your horse, sometimes you can come off your horse, sometimes your horse gets spooked and your horse throws you, and it's like, well, I didn't know it was there, and why was it in my way, sort of thing. The gameplay in general, I would give a 9 out of 10. Simply because the gameplay itself is really fun. Like earlier today, I robbed a train and I stole the train. I was riding the train around the entire map. It was fun. It was hilarious. Until I had to go and get my horse back. That wasn't fun. My horse was like over there and I was over here. So you can imagine how long it took me to actually get back there. But overall, I love the gameplay. Minus, as I've said, the glitches and bugs, but every game has its glitches and bugs. I'm sure there'll be patches for that in the future as they upgrade the game from Red Dead Online. My thoughts on a DLC for Red Dead 2. I'm guessing they're going to do the same they did with the first one, Undead Nightmare. It would not surprise me at all if that's what they did. Because Undead Nightmare was a flawless DLC. It was fantastic. It was brilliant. And it gave us the chance to play as John Marston again after he died in the main story. So I'm guessing if they did an Undead Nightmare 2, I really hope they don't make it online and just incorporate it into an online story. That would suck. I would really love it to be a standalone game like the original. But continuing on, because I do know, I've seen spoilers for the game, I do know Arthur Morgan dies at the end, the lead protagonist of the second game. So what would be really cool is if they did an Undead Nightmare Part 2 or Undead Nightmare 2, if they went the same way as the first Undead Nightmare and had Arthur Morgan come back and you played as Arthur Morgan again. That would be really sick. That would be really cool. Like he comes back for revenge to gun down and kill the people that killed him, sort of thing. That'd be really cool. But like you'd obviously be back as an undead zombie, so maybe you get to feed on people, make it that bit more dark and gory and gruesome. Because the second game definitely gives off that dark, gory vibe compared to the first. So I do feel like that would be a really cool thing for Rockstar to do, as long as they don't put it online. After the last Sly Cooper game, if Sucker Punch will finish that cliffhanger. Sucker Punch haven't really dropped anything in quite a while now. It's been a slow year for Sucker Punch. In fact, it's been a slow few years for Sucker Punch. I hope they don't go the same way that Telltale Games did, just one day randomly closed down after lawsuits and whatnot. But yeah, we know what happened with Telltale Games. Someone got offended, someone filed a lawsuit, and then, hey presto, the company shut down. But continuing on with the Red Dead review, I'm finding it difficult to finish it. Not just because it's got a great story and I don't want to finish it like Spider-Man. I could not bring myself to finish Spider-Man because the story was so good. But I'm finding it difficult to finish because there's so much to do. Like one stranger mission will appear miles over the other side of the map, so you go over to get that one, and then another stranger mission will appear at the other side of the map, so you go over to get that one, and then another one appears down the road from you. It's like, well, hang on a minute, which one am I doing? Am I helping this guy get this? Am I helping that guy get that? Then there's all the random events. Like I've come across a couple of prisoners, right? I don't know if any of you guys watching or watching in the future know this, but you come across prisoners in the road, and they've got shackles on their legs, and they ask you to shoot the shackles. So you do, and they give you a home invasion tip, a home robbery tip. I have not been able to find any of their tips, like at all. So I don't understand the deal with that. It's like I found this one guy as well who had a treasure map to some bars of gold, and I could not, for the life of me, find it. I followed the map, as inaccurate as it was, to where it should have been. I couldn't find anything. I even activated the Deadeye thing to look around. Ended up hunting a wild coyote, which was a legendary one, so that wasn't too bad, I suppose. I have figured out now where to sell legendary pelts and things too, so I'm going to upload a video on that a bit later on. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, the story, as I said, it is quite hard to finish because there's just so much going on. You don't really know exactly where you are. Excuse me. But I'm thinking that Rockstar Games have done it intentionally, just to draw people's attention away from the main story, because the gameplay itself, a lot of people have said if you grind it continuously, it's about 45 to 46 hours worth of full-on gameplay. But that's with everything meshed in together. That's all the strangers and, well, I say strangers and freaks, that's a GTA thing. All the stranger missions, should I say, then all the random encounters, things like that. If you skip those out and just do the entire main story, I'm guessing it's going to be about an hour, maybe 2 hours worth of gameplay. Just because you're skipping out everything and you're just moving straight on with the story. I mean, I know sometimes you have no choice but to do some of the side missions to progress in the main story, which again, Rockstar have probably done deliberately to stop you completing it so quick and complaining that the game is just not worth the money because it's so short. I must say, I'm quite looking forward to online. I was very skeptical about it at first because I was like, oh, come on, it doesn't need online. It's going to be another battle royale. It's going to be a carbon copy of GTA Online just on horses. You know, what next? Rockstar will add a flying Pegasus. You know, we've got flying cars in GTA, so we're going to add a flying horse in Red Dead Online. It's just all over my head. It's just ridiculous. But the reason I'm looking forward to online is because it has its own personal story. It's set after the events of the main story of Red Dead. So, of course, it's gone the same line as GTA. It's set after the events of the main story. Well, actually, yeah, GTA Online before, it was set before the main story, and now it's set after the main story because years have progressed in online, of course. But Red Dead 2, it jumps the gun and it goes straight after the main story. So I'm looking forward to see where that'll go because you get to create your own character again. You don't get to transfer your rank and character over from GTA 5, which is what I was initially thinking quite a while ago. So it's going to be really cool to start again and just have everything from scratch. Because on GTA, I think I'm ranked 500 and something, and I've got practically everything. I've got over $40 million, and I've just got practically everything, really. So, yeah, as I was saying, it's going to be really cool to start again. But I think I may have covered everything I need to cover in this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a little Q&A discussion going on for the next couple of minutes, just to get your guys' thoughts and opinions on the video. There's only one person watching now, but you know, there's always after the video finishes, anyone else that might tune in, you can always let me know in the comments. Drop me a like as well if you enjoy the video. Let me know any feedback of the video. But the Q&A I want to discuss is just about E3, about Red Dead 2, and about anything else in general that may come next year. So what do you guys think? Anyone watching in the future, anyone watching now, what do you think is going to come from Red Dead 2, Rockstar Games, Grand Theft Auto, E3, things like that? Just let me know. I'm going to be here for another couple of minutes. I got to tell you guys, I am not looking forward to staying here for 2 weeks. I am here for 2 weeks with 3 dogs, and it is a pain in the ass. It is absolutely freezing here, and I'm fed up already. And I've been here for about 3 days now, and I'm already fed up. Last night, I couldn't even live stream because the neighbors were actually complaining about the noise of the game, you know, all the shooting and things. So I figured even if I put my headset into the controller and have the audio through the headset, they would still complain at me chatting away and talking. So I could not do one last night. What also doesn't help is while I'm here, everything has an auto shut off. The electricity shuts off at a certain time, so that means the Wi-Fi goes off. I think that's about it. Yeah, so that means I can't even charge my phone. I can't charge my PlayStation controller. I can't play the PlayStation because there's no electricity. It's kind of ridiculous, really, because you get used to a certain commodity of independence and doing whatever you want whenever you want whilst you're in your own place. And then you have to come back and there's all these restrictions and rules. Even though your parents aren't here, you've still got those rules imposed upon you because of everything that's set up automatically in the house. Like, literally, I might as well have just been left with a list of do this, do that, go to bed then, go to bed now, sort of thing. Because that's what it's starting to feel like, because the power will shut off at about 1:30, 1:45 in the morning. And that means the Wi-Fi goes off. That means I can't charge my phone. So that really does tick me off a bit, because that means I've got to wait until the morning to charge my phone. And the power comes back on at about 7 a.m., 8 a.m., around about that time. The bonus is, though, when I have to go to work, it's only down the road. So it saves me an hour's journey on the bus. So yeah, anyone watching in the future, just drop me something in the comments to let me know what you think about E3 2019, about Rockstar Games, Red Dead Redemption 2. I've covered everything I needed to cover in this video. I just wanted a short stream, just because I missed out on a stream last night. Again, apologies for that. But do stay tuned, because today, as I've said, I have an Uncharted stream planned. I have a Red Dead 2 online stream planned. As I said, I'm waiting for it to install. Let's hope it does install correctly. If it doesn't, as I've said, I will just stream the main story mode. For the next week or so, whilst I'm at my mom's, live streams will be very sketchy, so you have to bear with me on that, guys. I'm not saying I won't be streaming. I'm just saying my schedules will be rather erratic compared to what they usually are when I'm at home. So when I'm at home, I usually do 2 live streams a day. I usually do one about 6 p.m. my time, and then another one at about 10 p.m. my time. But because I'm here with the dogs, I have to take the dogs out. It's going to clash, because I have to take the dogs out for about half an hour to make sure they do something, and I'm not left with a mess and a squelchy sock. So yeah, guys, thanks to everyone that's been active in the chat. Thanks to everyone that stopped in. I know I didn't get too many views on this stream. It's not what I'm after, though. I just wanted to drop a quick discussion video. And just a quick video to apologize for not streaming yesterday as well. So yeah, I think that's it. This has been Gamerdude. Happy gaming, and I will catch you all real soon, guys.